Hey Audio Fam. Today I'm going to show you how you can get that really aggressive Green Day-like rock vocal sound. I recently made a vocal cover of a Green Day song, and here was the end result.
So tired, tired of waiting, tired of waiting for you.
Just to give you a before and after comparison, I'll take all of these unique effects that I used to get that sound, and this is what it sounded like before all that.
So tired, tired of waiting, tired of waiting for you. So tired, tired of waiting, tired of waiting for you.
So a couple of things I did to get this aggressive sound. Of course, EQ and compression is helping. Really, I didn't do a lot with this though, just some very basic moves. So I won't talk about it as much in this video because it's just doing some basic work, and other elements are really doing the legwork to help get this sound. So I'll go more into detail on that. But if you do want me to go into this in another video, I'd be more than happy to. Just let me know down in the video section if you'd like to hear more about my strategy for EQ and compressing on vocals. But what's really doing a lot of the work, I'll start with this one right here, the pedal. So I'll disable all these other effects for now. And let's go ahead and solo the vocal just so we can really hone in and hear what's going on. So this first effect, pedal, it's essentially, you can think of it as like an electric guitar pedal. So it's adding some distortion, some drive. And I added it directly on the vocal track. And I didn't do too much. I only gained it up 9.5% because even just that is doing so much, especially with all the adjusting I did down here. I brought up the treble to 22%, brought up the mids a little bit. And you have these different options on this particular pedal plugin as well. Overdrive, distort, and fuzz. So a lot of this is creativity. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's all about being creative and using your ear, trusting yourself to know what sounds right. But let me go ahead. I will crank this up. I'll take the pedal off. You can hear it dry, and then we'll add it, and you can really hear what it's doing.
So tired, tired of waiting, tired of waiting for you. So tired, tired of waiting, tired of waiting for you.
So you can really hear that it really adds that grittiness, that dirt to the vocal, which is a really good thing for rock vocals. So yeah, just find some sort of distortion plugin, whatever you have. If you do have Ableton, you can use this pedal plugin. I'm sure whatever DAW you are using, you can find some stock plugin that will allow you to do this. Just add a little bit of distortion directly on the vocal channel to bring up that aggressive sound. And then from there, what you can do is add a little bit of reverb on the vocal. And unlike the pedal where I added it directly onto the vocal track, for reverb, you can totally add reverb on the vocal directly if you want to. But typically I like to create what's called a return track, which is this right here. These are 3 return tracks. And what that means and what that allows me to do is, instead of having this reverb directly on the vocal, which I could do, like I said, but that would make it sound, it would take over the original sound. It would alter it. Whereas when I have a return track, I can send this vocal, which is what I'm doing through here, through the A. That is the return track for the reverb. So I'm sending this vocal track through the A, and it's hitting the A into reverb. So essentially, it's just allowing me to have the best of both worlds. It's this track is what the vocal sounds like with the reverb, but I can send as much of it or as little of it as I want into the A. And even from there, I could always use the volume fader, you know? So I really have a lot of control over how much reverb is taking over the vocal this way. So adding a little bit of reverb can really help add space and make it sound more authentic. So this is what it sounded like adding the reverb to it. My bad, let me solo it again.
So tired, tired of waiting for you.
You can really hear it in the tail of the vocal, right? Like it lingers a little bit longer. So really easy way to get your vocals to sound more big. And another way you can do that as well is with a little bit of delay. There's a bunch of different delays you can use through vocals, but for rock vocals, for that aggressive Green Day vocal sound specifically, ping pong delays are what you want to go for. And really, really short times. So as you can see, you can have this set to either sync up to the tempo of the beat, which in this instance is 122. So I could have that sync up to that, or you could just go to time like I did here. And I found a just very, very short, brief attack of a delay, almost as if it's in maybe a music club, and it's just really quickly bouncing off the walls. It's a small music club, not a lot of room to travel. If none of that makes sense, no worries. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
So tired, tired of waiting for you.
So let's take away the delay.
So tired, tired of waiting for you.
So the way I like to think of it is reverb is creating the room in which it's being recorded, and then delay, that is creating essentially the echoes of that room. But the idea here is rock vocals just sound really good when it sounds like it's being recorded in a smaller setting for whatever reason. What I did to get this sound, initially I had these linked up, tried to find, you know, a good sound. This is what I would do.
So tired, tired of waiting, tired of waiting.
So you see how that is a little bit too long of a delay. You know, there is a perfect balance, especially when you're using time compared to sync. You really want to find that special place. So let's go back. I had it around 55.8 is where I thought it sounded good.
So tired, tired of waiting.
Adds a little bit of bounciness, but it's not too crazy. It's not drawing out too long. And then what I did from there, I unlinked it, and then I brought one of them down just a little bit, just to really even create more depth and more perceived space.
So tired, tired of waiting.
And I did this through the stock delay plugin in Ableton. Again, I did it through a return track. And the final thing I did, the last return track I created, was I added another compressor. And in this instance, I used the CLA 76, which is known for just a very aggressive sound as it is. And what I used on here is a method called parallel compression. It sounds really fancy, but it's really not all that difficult. So again, I have a return track set up for this compressor. And what I did was sent the vocal track all the way into this track with the CLA 76 on it. And you can see I have it turned down quite a bit. So here, let me go ahead and solo the vocal and this return track. I ended up mixing it down, but I'll go ahead and bring it all the way to 0. Because this is what I did initially. I had it sent to this track, and the idea with parallel compression is you just want it to sound incredibly compressed, like almost to the point where it sounds bad. When you're using parallel compression, you really just want to go way more aggressive than you normally would. You know, like I said, I have this 2A on this vocal track directly, but it's just doing really basic work. It's not doing too much. I think at the most it's reducing 3 dB. So, you know, just a little bit to control the vocal a little bit more. But that's not the mindset we want to approach with in using parallel compression. When we're doing this method, you want to just do crazy amount of compression. Again, almost to the point where it sounds bad. So this is the sound that I got by itself.
So tired, tired of waiting for you.
So I have it set to 20-to-1 ratio, you know, just really aggressive. And you wouldn't use that by itself, probably. But the beauty of parallel compression is that since it's through a return track, like we talked about earlier, I can always bring as much of it up or down as I want to blend in with the original signal. So again, I've got the best of both worlds. It's the same with reverb, you know, instead of having this compressor completely take over the track, I've got it on its own track. It's doing its own thing. The original vocal sound is still going alongside however much of this compressed track that I want to mix into it. And I want to mix it into the track because that's, again, what's really going to help it create that aggressive sound. You know, as you could hear, by itself, it sounds super aggressive. And maybe by itself, it's too much. But when we blend it into the mix, it can really help create a cool sound. So the way I do that, I'll just start completely from zero. You know, turn this track all the way down. I'll play the track back and then mix into what I think sounds good, like so.
So tired, tired of waiting for you. So tired, tired of waiting for you. I was a lonely soul, I had nobody till I met you.
So that's about it for the lesson today, friends. Thank you so much for watching. If you are wanting to dive into the music production world, it's something you've always dreamed about doing, but you've never taken that first step into actually doing it, I've got a free gift for you, my friends, that will help you start doing that today. I've got a free PDF guide on my website, Prodigy Creations Now. It's called The Simple Guide to Recording Music Now in 5 steps or less. And all you got to do is go to the website. You will see a banner that talks about the free guide. Go ahead and click on it, and it'll send you to a landing page where all you'll have to do is enter in your email address. And once you do and you hit submit, within minutes, you will be sent this 100% free PDF guide that will help you take those first few steps and help you know what to do in order to begin recording music. Again, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.